Hello, I'm Guohua Jia from Curtin University. In today's video, we are going to look at nanoparticles. In particular, we are going to illustrate key theoretical points of nanoparticles, such as scales of things and size effect. Before talking about nanoparticles, it's important to have a sense of scale. This figure shows the scale from 1 centimeter down to 0.1 nanometer. For example, an ant has a size about 5 millimeter, which can be seen by human naked eyes. Human hairs has a diameter about 50 micrometers, which is the smallest dimension that naked eyes can see. As the dimension goes down, we enter into a micro world, covering a dimension from a few micrometer to a few hundred of nanometers. For tiny things with a dimension in this range, such as red blood cells, which are 8 microns, we need the aid of a light microscope to see them. As the dimension is continue going down, we enter into a nanoworld. A DNA molecule has a diameter of 2 nanometers. It is so tiny that a light microscope cannot see it. We need to use an electron microscope to see it. When we talk about nanoparticles, we are talking about really tiny particles that has a diameter of between 1 nanometer to 100 nanometers. The field of science that researches this stuff is called nanoscience, that produces many new materials that have useful properties. Nanoparticles have a very interesting size effect. One of the key features is that they have a very large surface area to volume ratio. This is because as things get smaller, their volume decreases more rapidly than their surface area does. So their surface area to volume ratio actually gets bigger. You see here the simple example of 4 shell clusters. The 7 shell clusters comprise 1,415 atoms. The percentage of surface atoms is 35%. If you make it a smaller particle like 1 shell, so the total number of atoms is 13, but the percentage of the surface atom is 92%. The reason that matters is that a lot of uses of nanoparticles depends more on their surface area than their volumes. For example, if we use them as catalysts to speed up the rate of chemical reactions, then only the exposed surface area that is important. For instance, 7 iron sum tabs with 0.5 gram, and the total surface area is about 2 square centimeters. However, if 0.5 gram iron are made into nanoparticles, the total surface area of these nanoparticles is about 100 square meters. So we need much less of a material made of nanoparticles than we need a material made of big particles, because the nanoparticles would have more surface area for their given volume. Another important side effect of a nanoparticle is energy levels. When the light illuminates a nanoparticle, it may create electron and hole pairs in the nanoparticle. The electron-hole pairs, which also called an exciton, has a larger radius that encompasses many atoms, and they can move throughout the crystal lattices. The distance between an electron and a hole within an exciton is called Bohr radius. However, when we make a particle smaller than its Bohr radius, the electron and the hole will be squeezed in a very small space. In other words, we see that the electron and the hole are confined. This will lead to interesting quantum confinement phenomena. Quantum confinement effect can lead to significant change of nanoparticles' band gap and energy levels. For semiconductor material, it has a certain band gap. When the same material is made into nanoparticles, as the particle size decreases, their band gap increases, and their energy levels become discrete. The band gap in quantum dot is inversely related to its size. The color of emitted light of cadmium selenide quantum dots shifts from red to blue when the quantum dot size is made smaller. The electronic properties of these materials are intermediate between those of bulk semiconductors and discrete molecules. So to summarize, through this video, we have got to know a sense of a scale and the size effect of nanoparticles, such as their large surface to volume ratio and their size-dependent energy levels, or we call it band gaps. Thanks for listening.